You can hold it.
Call the special meeting to order. 6 o'clock, and of course, we're going to be dealing with the building, which I think everyone mostly is here for. But we have something beforehand, a surprise, and also something we're very proud of. Lisa Godwin has been appointed to the Commission, Blue Ribbon Commission for Education for the state, and we're lucky enough to be able to swear her in.
You have to sing. Look at that. It's hard to take the picture.
You take it. You take
it. I, Lisa Godwin, do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I, Lisa Godwin,
I, Lisa Godwin,
do solemnly swear,
do solemnly swear
yes, sorry, that I will be faithful and true and bear true alliance,
that I will be faithful and true and bear
true
alliance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and the constitutional powers
and the constitutional powers
and authorities which are or may be established.
and to the authority which are and may be established
For the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and I will endeavor
and I will endeavor
to support, maintain, and defend
to support, maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States.
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States.
I, Lisa Godwin,
I, Lisa Godwin,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will and truly
that I will and truly
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a member of the Blue Ribbon Commission on Public Education
as a member of the Blue Ribbon Commission on Education
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to the law of the open God.
according to the laws that help me God. Oh, really? Okay,
I don't think I can match that. But we are going to discuss a bit only there.
Secondary.
I don't think we can all leave now. But there's been a lot of work carried forward up to this point, and as you know, that we were given marching orders about a year ago to hold a budget, to look at the pieces of our building, to see if we can make sure we get what we need, not necessarily what we want, but what we need is within the budget that we have. And we chiseled this thing. It's like a big bag of Legos. The bag is $9.6 billion, and you put it in any configuration you want, but you can't go outside of it. So that was a challenge. And so I think our design team, which has been consistent with all of our staff, Commissioner Thomason, Commissioner Gunter, myself, and I'll let the Thomas Construction introduce themselves, because I think a face to the name that is important.
Hey, my name is Chris Knight. I'm the sector leader for Thomas Construction.
I'm Jim Hunley, Executive Vice President for Thomas Construction.
And they've been working with us. Sometimes they wish they weren't. Yeah, it's been an enjoyable thing. It was fun. Couple moments, but it was enjoyable, and I think we had the backing of the staff and the time. They gave us our marching orders, and we worked off of those. So I'll get started on a quick presentation to bring you up to date where we are, and there's a couple of decisions we need to make tonight that will help guide us through. But in the event that we have a lot of questions, or you want to sit on it a while and give us written statements back, I think what's the latest we can?
Well, we're prepared to meet again on Monday at 10 a.m.
if we could get, if we get comments back early Monday morning, we can respond to them as quick as we can.
Mr. Anderson, I'd like to make a motion, we use John. Yes.
Have a motion?
Second it.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
John's excused. Rochelle, you're gonna have to read the clip for me. Of course, this is the Topsail Beach Public Safety Building that will house both the fire department and the police department. This is a brief history. This started back in 2019 when we did a facility study on the property that we're on right now. Is it available? What can we do? How long will it last us? We ended up purchasing additional land, and in 2023 we got an $8 million allocation. It was unheard of. And then we immediately went into a build design contract with Thomas Construction and Decker Morgan Architects. The building option meeting started off a little rocky, to say the least, and but we worked through it, and we got a good direction from the town, the residents of what they expected. In 2025, we able to define the building scope and get a budget adoption of the 9 million plus to move forward. And so from 25 to 26, this committee design team has been meeting. And we kept everyone abreast, at least the board members abreast of all the meeting notes. And I think John Gunther on that, if I could give him an award, it would be John Gollard Award. It would go to him. He did a great job for it. So, the initial design, a little bit different from what we expected. And but it was a placeholder to get the thoughts going, and boy, it did it. It got the thoughts going, a little opposition going everywhere. But we didn't like the flat roof or the cost. So I think we abandoned that. We started moving into our next phase. So this is our current design, much different. And I think this is more in tune with Topsail Beach. And the other one, of course, was urban type development, which has been great in Wilmington or downtown Wilmington. But this fits our style. And I think that's something we all played on. And we had a lot of design questions.
Right, what are we looking at? Is that, what streets or what?
Okay, this is the Topsail Beach Police Department is directly across from Larry's. So that's what you would see if you were standing in Larry's parking lot.
Facing on the flag.
Yeah, right. And then the other is a bird's view of from Anderson, looking at the fire station and police behind it.
The trucks come out on Anderson, so there's no turn.
Yeah. I would get into this. I'll try. The ground floor level, as you can see, the bays are in the crosshatch. That's the fire apparatus area. So we'd have 4 bays. One would be a pull through for the larger truck that our truck we're going to need. And then in between the 2 areas, and part of the hatch is the response offices and supply areas for the fire department. Because we can't keep them upstairs, and it needs to be on the ground floor so when they come downstairs, they can get to their equipment and get to the truck as quick as possible. So it was a time study issue with that. As you go into the next side of it, you see the parking. That's for the police. We got a secure police parking area that's entered from the back, and only entered from the back. It's a key situation. So, but that'll provide storage that can be protected. Okay, this is where it got complicated. I told you about the various blocks that we had to move around. Well, we knew the outside of the building, what that looked like, the perimeter of it and the size. But all of these little rooms were the blocks that we had to move around. And they had to, I guess, adhere to what the police department and fire department needed. It had to flow so they could get people from A to B in a quick amount. And also the police had to be secure in certain things. So in this particular case, the the top of the screen on the left-hand side is the rear entrance, the stairwell entrance. And predominantly, if the police wanted to come in, not need to have an elevator. So it depends on who they're bringing in, or if they're bringing in someone. The other is the fire department. That's their main connection back to the crime floor for getting into the trucks and the equipment for response. And you'll note we don't have a fire pole. So there are a lot of reasons there, probably not good, but we don't have a fire pole. So, but if you look at the blue, it reverses itself. We have the police and how they need to operate. It's a secure lockdown position. We just can't have people walking through it. And then we have, the different offices and interrogation room, quiet room. And then as we move toward the rear of the building, we've got an arms containment, has to be locked and protected, and also an evidence processing and storage. In the center of the building, we have a common area. It's mainly the workout room for both parties, so police and fire. And then in the fire department, we do have a kitchen because live and work, that's what these guys are going to be doing in the same building. So they need to have facilities. Our previous concerns, and this is something we brought, yes, it's months ago, that we were looking at value engineering and what could we change, what the biggest ticket items had the most impact on our budget. First off, the fourth day, we resolved that, so we got the fourth day budget man. The roof line, it kind of resolved itself. The hardy plank siding, we didn't want a metal building, and so I think this looks good. The screening under the building, we had a choice: screening or chain link fence. Yeah, not much choice there. And then the window types, that's just, we're looking at a different window and we got a break on that. The cupolas, that was something that really drove the design of the building. It brings the site to Topsail Beach. So I thought that was important. And last, the metal roof. That's an issue that we're going to talk a little bit later tonight. In the budget, it might be asphalt, but we'll get price difference and see if it's something you want to do. All right, the cost estimates are based on three things. The base cost estimate, and this is what Thomas Construction is on the hook for. And but then we move into which is $9,458,000. We're under budget right now. Next slide. These are the add alternates that we wanted to add. I think it's mainly coloring the concrete where the fire department is, so that oil stains or things like that are not showing up as much and than you would on regular concrete. Pinning is that's the roof, that's steel pinning. We rejected some and accepted another, like the window locations in the northeast of the where the police department is. We need to balance that, and when the situation that came up toward the latter part of the design development, in which we were so close to the right-of-way line, we were 18 inches, and anytime you're within 3 feet of the right-of-way line, you have to go to fire resistant windows, which drives the cost up. And so that was kind of a late surprise that we worked through that. Yeah, we did. Owner's budget. So we worked with the value engineering, and then we have the owner's budget, which there's soft costs and owner's desires. The soft costs are, in this particular case, are the third-party testing, the concrete, the columns, the things that we trust Thomas, but we need to make sure we're trusting ourselves. And so that's in there. It's probably more than we need, but it's an allowance. And then go down to the area that's owner selected. Anything that's not built into the building is the owner's responsibility. The appliances that we need to get, intercom system, clock. anything like that would have to come out of, our budget. So we factor that in. So our budget after all three, the soft cost from Thomas and the Times, budget, we're at $9,605,000. As close as we can get. We've worked it hard, but, it's been a tedious road, but we're there. Current options, and these are the two things that that are on the table right now. And we've got a budget that meets the 9.6. And now we have an option. If we wanted to go with a metal roof over an asphalt roof, the cost would be an additional $113,000. You have, correspondence back and forth. The value of that, is it better, worse? Asphalt shingles will blow here. And, metal roof seems to be standing up a lot more. And keep in mind the equipment that's going to be under that roof. And that's one thing we've been looking at hard. Either one will work. It's a preference. And then the next one is the fire rated windows. We can reduce the number of windows, but then we start losing the character of that entrance. And that entrance is going to be the main public entrance into the building. So we really didn't want to cut that short. And it seems to balance right now. And that's really what we were after. And enough light. Because once you walk in that door at the bottom, you've got an elevator on the left and you got stairs on the right. And so that it takes you up to that first lobby, and we're fine. But this is where we get into the asphalt versus metal roof. And there's a trade-off, and I can go through this, and I think it goes back down to the life of the roof. Metal roof is much longer. It protects more. The deduction on our insurance, when you think of having a 205% insurance deductible, the cost of the roof is insignificant. We're going to pay that before we get into our deductible either way. So I just want to put that up as a factor. And the standing seam, the changeover to the standing seam roof costs about $8,800 to $8,900 per year over a 20-year loan. All these will come back if we have questions about them. Next. Budget considerations. Connie may have to help me. Public safety, we had 9.6, and we had a balance of 8.2, and then we had interest added, expenses paid, and so our total right now, cash in hand, is 8,937. So we're at about a $662,000 shortfall. Well, within that shortfall, we've allocated monies for that in this year's budget. I think 400. Yeah. So that's already carried through. That's not a new cost for us. So we have that additional area. And it's a matter of, at this point, we add things or want to finance. Is it better to? This is a long-term project that's going to last 50 years. Is it better to have you as taxpayer right now paying the full bill or have a loan that's carried over the 20-year period, but the future residents and taxpayers pay? So that's kind of, this is an asset that we're buying, and it's a shame to have us pay all of it up front. So we're at a total, if we wanted to add the roof and the windows, at 9.7 million. We're still close, but we're over. And that's why we're having this meeting. How do we fund? I think I went through some of that already. There's $400,000 set aside. We can get a 20-year loan, long-term debt or current funding. However, we can come out of our monies now and cover the cost. So that we have that choice. We're in good shape, Connie. So the annual cost is, if we do the loan situation, about $52,000 to $61,000 per year, level payment over a period of the loan. Timeline. Here's where we are. We're halfway through it. Decisions tonight and next week. We jumpstart the construction. I think we can move the contract up to next Wednesday, if that's what this group wants to do. And, we can start thinking about construction. So we're that close, and it's an important decision tonight, or discussion. Questions?
What's the recommendation of the board as to, applying for a loan or letting it be our responsibility today?
Personally, I think the loan's a smart way to go, but I don't want to pay for something that's going to be enjoyed way down the road, and I'm covering the whole cost. You know, they deserve to have some of the share in it. That's just me.
And the second that is, we've got the money, Connie's got the money, we could pay it out of pocket today. But we don't know what's coming forward. And this is gonna be here for your grandchildren. Maybe y'all have grandchildren that'll be here for them, certainly for a couple of generations to go. To burden those of you in the room today to pay for it out of pocket now. And we have unusual storm or something come up and we've got to raise taxes because we used a safety net. Yeah, the bankers like Mr. Sheeran in the room know you match long-term debt with long-term assets. One thing that Mayor Braxton didn't add is in the Thomas construction budget, the town has a $100,000 contingency. As many times as we've gone through these drawings, Chief Fossil has, others in the fire department, Chief Sam has, others in the police department, the staff, we've gone through it ad nauseum. I can't even fathom a light switch that we've overlooked, but we've got 100,000 in there if we need it. It's not like when you're building a house that they're gonna come back and say, oh, you know, it costs more than we thought. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Only, a fixed contract. When we sign it, but we told them we won't, they will deliver for that. If we come back and say, no, we need 10 more windows, that's on us. If we come in and say, we need 4 more security cameras, that's on us. But I think we've gone through it in enough detail that 100,000 is a buffer. If we didn't have anything come up, that covers most of a metal roof. But again, even though we've got the cash, I think we would be prudent to go ahead and finance it for 20 years. And we're talking a small amount. It's not going to be an $8 million loan on a $9.6 million building. It will be somewhere at most in the 1 million range. Yeah.
Nancy, just to be clear, that $100,000 that is unused comes back to the town.
Are the windows hurricane rated that you're considering? Thank you.
And fire.
I think they're in the, either 120, 160 range. 150. 150. Right?
Well, more of a statement. Why would the metal roof and the windows come out 1.5% of the whole cost? Why would you even?
Because we're over budget and we promised.
1.5% is.
Well, it's the point, this is the point where we said, y'all need to come back and give guidance. Is
wouldn't
we committed
shortcut.
to come in at 9.6 and it's kind of like you go back to your husband and ask him if you're getting ready to spend another 100,000 on something you didn't get approval for. Is we want y'all to give your opinion on what is the right decision.
And that's ex-husband.
Yeah, that's it. Right, you think that was your opinion, so thank you. Yes, sir.
It appears to me, and I've been involved in these things before, sometimes interest rates go down, which on the long run would make it cheaper money on the end. And I think that that's probably going to happen as time goes on. And I think you guys have done a wonderful job in putting this together. And I appreciate what you've done. And I think it's going to work this way.
Is that fixed rate? Is that 475 fixed?
That is it. A town borrows at rates different from what we normal people do.
It's not a balloon.
Yes, sir.
I applaud y'all for what you've done. Good job. Thank you for staying on
the budget. That's a long way from where we started. You've done a great job. Just two questions or two comments. I would encourage you to leverage. Why are we gonna pay today what we can, like Wimpy, I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for hamburger eat today. So why not? Second thing, the roof. I have run into on residential roofs with some of the homeowners that they're under obligation to wash the roofs with certain chemicals on an annual basis and do certain things. I'd just be cautious with this particular metal roof. Are there any maintenance issues that you got to do to keep the warranty right? So that's just a comment.
Well, the good news is we got some hoses very easy.
But you gotta look for certain chemicals, you gotta do it a certain way, and that's the thing. It's the thing. So just as a word of caution.
You're going to spot there, you don't.
No, I have to go back and look at the warranty, but I mean, we install a lot of these metal roofs around, so that. So I'm sure we can figure that out.
Yeah. But I'm glad you brought that up because I really hadn't thought of that.
Well, they hadn't either when they found out the warranty wasn't right.
Well, everything, I mean, just to be clear, everything here is rated to 150 miles an hour, so.
It's a new revenue source for the town as well when you got downtime sitting in a truck to wash roofs.
Well, I would just say that, I think you're on the right track with the metal roof. I wish I had to put one on my home. I was assured that with these brand new shingles, we're not gonna have any problem, but here comes Dorian and I lose a square, you know? And we all know what these hurricanes do. And, metal roof, I think, is money ahead in the long run.
Other questions? Please. We've been working on this for a year. We'd like to have somebody say,
I'm still, maybe I'm turned around. We're looking, am I standing on Anderson looking at this?
yeah,
Okay, so this is the front of the building?
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
It's the facade facing Anderson, but
Okay.
the street address will be flagged.
Right, well, I'm just, that, obviously, that's the more outstanding look of the building, at that elevation.
Just to add to that, Ed, we had to look at the zoning setback restrictions. And in order to put it like we wanted on the lot, we had to call this the side so that we could call the Flake Avenue area the front because the setbacks are different.
I think it'd be good to have,
Did Stephanie make you do that?
It's all my fault.
We haven't said that to the board of adjustment. You would love that.
How are you incorporating the existing tower in all this?
it's over by the, entrance at the police department. The tower is gonna be set back, staying where it is, of course. But we'll probably paint it the same color as the building, if we need to shadow it to make it look like everything else. And, we may end up with one of our logos on that. I think that's a prominent thing. We can't get rid of it, so let's use it.
Can you show us the approach when we're coming into town? Would you show us what we will see when we're coming into town?
You will see that tower. I can't say.
check actually the one that shows the police department.
Just so you're driving into town and boom.
There
Very good.
The tower's off to the left.
Tower also.
Okay. Thank you.
It will still block traffic at that intersection.
It's the back side of that, like the trucks come out on Anderson.
That's the Flake side.
Yeah,
It will have windows and
So we don't have a slide.
yeah, well, actually the back of the apparatus bays. Some of them will be solid, but we'll have the main entrance in that area. It will be a drive-through. And then the walls on the three bays will be solid with the ends. Yeah, you go back to
the ones in the back that have it.
you can see, on the top of the screen, on the very right side is where the police will come in. That'll be toward the back of the building. or it will be the back of the building. And then on the next one, which is the tan, that's the apparatus, the truck entrance to the back of the building, the pull through for the large fire truck. And then in the front is the apron that every door will be available to get out to that area.
I'm still confused with the pointer. Can you point where the existing tower is? Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you.
And this will run right there, I think it's Nate, at one of the meetings. Some people went over and wanted to tour the fire department and they did, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, you might. And they commented, well, all of y'all are upstairs. What if people drive up and their husband's having a heart attack or a child's choking? So that is an office down there where if somebody pulls into the fire department and it's during the day and they need help immediately, somebody will be in there to help them.
And we do have call systems, so if someone came in after hours or at night, they can hit the emergency call and it will wake the guys up upstairs. I think we have better coverage right now, or will.
What if someone is in need of the police with traffic
Same.
at that same entrance?
Well,
No,
it's all,
it'll go the other, either one of them, you'll be able to call up to the fire and the police at either entrance at all times. And Miss Nancy, you pointed into the yard, it actually is in that little gray point where that building is, office,
Right there.
right there.
Yes.
Okay. There'll be a small office door there with an intercom system, that door and on the lakeside door. That will go to the police and the fire at all times.
so they had to fight for that.
And Chief, do you feel like this is an improvement over what you had, what you have now?
Yes, a big improvement.
Do you feel like you got pretty much everything you felt you needed? Pretty much everything.
And I think it would be fair to point out, there's no surprises here, because we had a question about what you see in the back. I believe at the right, near the top, there's a elevated platform with a propane tank, right?
That's the
Or
propane.
that's on underground.
No, that's the generator.
There is
Generator. It's an emergency
the
generator.
generators on an elevated platform, and there's also some HVAC equipment on the backside that you'll see. So there's gonna be stuff there.
I think you're gonna have a fire pole. Where are the stairs?
Into the back platform.
Right there.
Yeah, that's one set, and then we have one with the elevator at the front. The one at the front, of course, is ADA compliant, so we have to have the elevator, and they're parking on that side. The one in the back is emergency. Get those guys where they need to be equipped. I think, like,
The back staircase will dump off into the very back of the number one bay.
Mentioned that there was, extra costs for, certain equipment or systems, whatever, that's not attached to the building, like security and so forth. What is the estimated budget on all of that?
that was part of the owner's budget. We went through and had actually quotes
We
from
got quotes, Magnum.
IT people that they're gonna put the system in. So that's the only thing that's floating out there, and it's called a TBA, I think. It's when you, after you build a building, you don't know how the emergency signal is gonna exit the building and in what capacity it's gonna go. So you come in and test it, and if we have a great level out of the building, you don't need to do anything. If not, we have to do a booster to get the signal out so that there's no disruption if there's, people in an emergency situation trying to get communication. That's the only thing that's floating around. That's 31,000.
And that I think Ms. Connie said would be, if we need it, you won't know till the building's built, is put it in as their capital request, just like they'd request a new truck or a jet ski or something like that.
What about furniture? Is that,
That's included.
That's
I think we have
in the allowance that they have.
$80,000 for like office.
Bedroom furniture.
And we will continue, excuse me for interrupting, but we will continue to try to get grants as much as we can, and we'll continue to try to earn interest as much as we can, so it does not fall back on you as much as we can.
If that, Larry, in response to your question, on the owner's budget stuff, lines for, AV equipment and security systems, which I think is what you were referring to, they add up to $50,000 approximately, just under that.
Maybe I missed it at one of the other meetings. The EMS, is that gonna be housed here,
It's,
or is it still gonna be back there?
it's available. Right now, depends on who you ask what the county's doing. And, I don't, I'll be honest, I don't trust going on right now, and so I just don't want to lose coverage.
There's room, though, if that's your question. There's room, is there not, if we needed to?
Right. Yeah, I know Bo said he'd sent some of his guys for EMS training, so it'd be nice if we had that right there too.
Yeah, I think we've seen some cases where, if we didn't have the coverage, we'd be in trouble.
I believe most are becoming EMTs, if not all of them, of your firefighters. We have complete coverage. Paramedics aren't necessarily even here. They're actually on the other side of the bridge.
I want to say, this, and I had Chief Fustel and, others will chime in, that feel free. This has been very collaborative. The police sat there, they went through everything. Bo and Sam went through the floor plans and said, I want an outlet here. I don't want this here. They were looking one day and there's a bunk room in the police department and the generators outside. So then it was like, let's swap that with something else. Sam came near the end and said, we need a dedicated exhaust fan in the evidence room, because guess what? A lot of the evidence is, and it reeks. So, you know, they've gone through and it has been their design. Am I correct? And they're saying, this is how we need it to work for us. And he's too modest to say it, but we're very fortunate that, Mr. Braxton is our mayor right now, because his architectural skills have been irreplaceable in getting us through this. And we've met the whole team with the staff, Connie and Christina, probably every other week since September. With the poor people from Comets coming back and forth and going on.
Chris has had to put up with us. Please, more questions?
I'd just like to say one additional thing about the metal roof. I can't tell you how strongly I feel about putting that metal roof on there. It would be a terrible mistake for us not to go ahead and spend that $115,000 and have the security that we'll get and the longevity that we'll get from that roof. So when the commissioners meet to talk about this, I'm going to push very hard for the metal roof.
As will I.
But that puts us over the 9.6 by about $100,000.
Just to follow up what John just said, so I come from an organization, fire department, where we had 31 fire stations. We had membrane roofs on flat roofs, we had asphalt roofs, we had metal roofs. Over the time that I was with the fire department for 35 years, was in charge of facilities maintenance for several years of that tenure there. And I can tell you that metal roofs by far are value. They're worth their money in gold. I mean, the replacement for asphalt, it doesn't take a hurricane to blow asphalt off. You know, and the whole goal is to keep water out of the building. You keep water out of the building lasts forever almost if you maintain it. So metal roof's the way to go. A commercial structure like that, asphalt shingles are not durable enough. You're risking your facility itself, your equipment in there. You're maintaining your ability to inhabit the facility, for the keeping the moisture out, keeping the water out. So I vote for the metal roof also. Having been there, done that type of thing. I built 6 fire stations myself, did 2 renovations. And I have a note about this. You all are getting an awful good bargain. The cheapest firehouse I built, and that was 12 years ago was $14 million. The most recent one I built was $23 million. All about the same square footage, 4 bays. Didn't have the police piece, but the square footage is about the same. So I can tell you, you guys, everybody, guys and girls, have done a great job of designing what you need, what this town needs, meeting the needs of the fire and police departments at a great value to the citizens and the taxpayers. So thank you so much for what you've done.
I get the dedication there.
Sure. When I moved here in 2023, this was just getting off the ground and I got up and spoke and I thought, there's no way they're going to build this firehouse for that much money. There's just no way, because I haven't seen it in my life. So it's just amazing. Like I said, 31 fire stations, we have 1,000 firefighters. And I built.
Don't tell that to Thomas.
Yeah. So, I applaud you all. I applaud you all, and definitely that's the way to go. In the long term, you're going to end up saving money.
How many square feet is under the roof? How many square feet is the building?
So about 17, I think 17,000.
Counting the bays.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about it. Wait, any more questions? If you,
Well, just so everybody understands, we're hoping that, if we get agreement from all commissioners, we're gonna come in at 9.7 something, not 9.6.
With borrowed funds.
Yes, we borrowed funds and the other things, but the point is, we were challenged to get 9.6. And you got a product that's at 9.6, but it's not a 50-year product. If you want a 50-year product, you've got to put this roof on, and that runs up the price.
But if we don't use our contingency, which I don't see what we're gonna spend it on at this point, then we do come in at 9.6.
I will say that we've looked at every room, we stood in every room, I think, on the plans. And so we know where everything is, into the color of its right.
I just want to say that I think that the work that you put into this from slide 1, the initial conception, which was a gas, it just shows like all your due diligence, everything you've done. And to cap it off, I would vote for the metal roof as well. Just why go through all of this and then penny pinch at the end. So thank you for all your work.
I think it's thoughtful beach.
Yeah. Thank you all for your support. You know, they support.
I have a question. Would we break ground in June still?
Still waiting on permits. We have a couple permits we're still waiting, but probably late summer.
Okay.
Well, I'll add what Penny says, example of living within our means. And that's what we got to do going forward too. We just can't do it on this one. We got to think about it going forward on all that we do.
And we would be remiss if we didn't recognize Rochelle, who at 5:15, we were sending her changes to the presentation that I think she got the information to start this morning. So she is putting all of this together really quickly with Connie and Christina helping her with the input and the numbers. So we've got an amazing team guiding us.
That goes for Rochelle's support for the whole last year. Really.
They're in the process of completing a new fire station up in North Topsail. I go by it 2 or 3 times a week. And I think this is going to be right up there with that one as far as looks. I mean, when it first started going up, it looked horrible, but they're doing the final touches now and it looks good. And
But it doesn't look like Topsail, does it?
no, it's not Topsail.
It looks like Surf City.
No,
it looks nice.
Yeah. I've enjoyed watching the progress on that and wondering how ours is gonna compare to that. And you can't compare them, but it's been interesting to me.
It'll be much more efficient.
I don't know what theirs cost. I have no idea.
They ran into some issues. And time-wise too.
Start to finish, 12 months, 18 months, 12 months?
Ooh, hang on.
Yeah, the good news is we will start, and nothing critical is going on during hurricane season. So, hopefully we'll get out of hurricane season unscathed, all of that. So we would be building through the summer, next summer.
Next summer. So y'all September through out here necessarily before August.
We won't wait till we get all the permits. The DOT driveway permit is really one. I mean, we just start with that and the permit.
Okay.
And don't work the weekends of all of the time.
You don't want to be here. Everybody else.
Right.
Where's the public parking for this building? Where will that be?
The plot that we, have just cleared,
Okay, so if I want to come see somebody in this building, I have to.
there'll be parking spaces, just as there are here. So we can't charge for right of way parking, so the parking.
There'll be a few spaces on the flag side.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
The parking across the street here, I think is actually for the construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
During construction.
During construction.
But I'm talking about for the.
The public.
Oh, the
If we want to come talk to the fire chief, talk to the police chief, there will be one or two spaces available.
I would like to know that insurance became an issue, and this was a surprise that got us all off kilter a little bit. We originally thought, pay for wind and hail and things like that, it'd be about, for construction period, 50 grand, 75 grand. First proposal came in at $250,000. We had to step back on that one. And I think through Thomas, we got it cut down to the 120 range. And that really saved them afterwards, to be honest. But just if you're thinking about construction, look out for insurance now, and that's why the revale right now is scaring me. Because that's a byproduct of the revale, that our insurance will go up.
So after construction and we're in the building, what happens to the parking across the street?
It'll
It's
go-
just clear.
It'll go in as paid parking. I'll pay for the improvements in the property.
I think with that is the fact that you were talking about the $8 million. If it hadn't been for Steve, we probably would have had that $8 million. Steve was the one who was very instrumental in getting us that $8 million.
Yeah.
So do you think he's looking down saying it was spent well or going, oh, gosh, what happens?
I think he'd be very proud.
Yeah. But like I said earlier, we'll meet again on Monday. And if you have comments that you wake up in the middle of the night and think of something, write us an email so we can address it. If not, we'll keep going down the alley that we think we're in the right way to go. And hopefully on Wednesday, we'll enter the contract. All the sandwich shops down here are gonna be booming. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have a good time. Yeah.
I would just like to thank the board for your due diligence, for everything you've done since the beginning with those 3 plan option buildings to now. It's amazing. So thank you very much.
It's nice to get this far.
The Monday's just a meeting for questions.
It's a continuation of this meeting. It's.
You could. I really want to make sure people had a chance to give us
So
comments.
the vote would be Wednesday.
At what point will you decide if there's a meeting Monday?
Well, that's up to you guys. We can certainly, hold another, the intent was if we have additional questions come in, over the weekend, you guys have time to, digest what we presented. We can reconvene again on Monday at 10 a.m. to take any additional questions, answer anything that's been submitted by email. And the vote, to enter into the contract would be for Wednesday night on the agenda.
Well, I think we have to enter.
Enjoy.
We can adjourn this
Yeah, we
meeting.
can adjourn this.
If you don't feel there's a need to meet again on Monday, that's completely up to you. Even if we adjourn this meeting and, as long as we have 48 hours notice, we can still meet Monday if you feel like we need to based on what comes in.
I assume that this whole presentation will be available on the town website for everyone who has not been able to attend to digest this.
Yeah, that's a good point, that maybe we do need to stay with the meeting schedule.
I think we need to say, we.
We'll be here Monday at 10 o'clock.
We did decide that Monday morning anyway, so.
And the paper plans are available for review in town hall if you want to come by and look in more detail at this. You can even look at the footers and the, drainage and everything.
We give you the colors that have been picked for the outside, the floor, the carpet, what it looks like, the tile, the backsplash, the countertops.
I think there are 191 sheets. Going.
Are there any open-ended, components to septic?
No, we actually took that out of Thomas's contract and put it into the owners and dealt with a consultant here and also a follower here, so we got a firm price. One we all know and love.
Be around for another year. So where is the septic being planned?
It's it's in the back of the building, kind of over toward, where the truck's gonna come in, the main entrance. It's over there and it will actually, be one of the peak systems. So it's a raised system. And so, we could have gone the other way, and gone with the traditional, but we had to flip the building and it just wasn't gonna work. We got plenty of water out there. We've been investigating the stormwater issue, so we've got a proprietary situation where we've got it's the same thing you see on the side of DOT. We've got, they're turtlebacks, they're under the police department's parking. That will actually be an underground pond, and then it'll exfiltrate out through the sand. And then any overflow will come into our storm system. That's what's up for review by the state. The state is not quick on their review. But if you think of something, please get it to us, because I don't want to leave anything on the table that needs to be addressed. We've gotten this far, let's make sure we get across the line.
I think you already have.
Right, when you got total agreement, you can just stop the meeting. Don't keep asking for problems.
It's been the most agreeable meeting you've ever been to.
Put it in a win column, let's go home.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we suspend the meeting until 10 o'clock on Monday.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Now need a motion, we don't need a motion. Suspend.